Welcome, everybody, to This Is Difficult. You've heard about him on the radio. You've seen him on TV, and now the movie. No, never mind, the podcast. This is Difficult, brought to you by your hosts, Lord Yeshua, that's me, Josh. We're on Paul's channel, that's Ryugami-san, and another letdown is Zach. He's down there, and we're here to talk about video games and video game-related things, and I'm going to pass the ball to Paul. That's my favorite. I'm never going to change that one. I didn't even fuck up or stop myself halfway through or anything. Wow. It's like a new record.
That's good. Yeah, that is.
That was good.
And I like that it's ever evolving.
Yeah, it's ever evolving. I try to not use the same shit. But we got a fun one, I think, right? It's always fun.
I think
it's always fun.
I feel like we all played a lot of games this week. So, yeah, kick us off.
How have you guys been? How's your week been? You get play a lot of video games?
This week was so stupid busy.
This was a really intense work week for me, actually, too. Yeah, I feel like I literally am just now sitting down for the first time.
Right? Yeah.
Like literally.
I know I've sat down. I streamed a bunch this week, but I still feel like I've been working all week. And granted, I did have to work at the store yesterday, so like, I was there. I was at the store today playing games, but it's still like if I'm at the store, it feels like I'm working.
Still feels like
work.
Dude,
for real. Exactly. Okay, so I used to rock climb a lot, right? But the rock climbing gym was also at the gym that I coached gymnastics at. And so like it came to the point where like I started to resent rock climbing, not because I didn't enjoy it, but because I was always at work. You know? And so like that
people like ask you for shit even if you're just climbing. You're like, fine.
Yeah. Well, and that's like my boss was like, hey, if you're gonna play games at the store on a day we're closed, can you open the store? So like, I mean, the door was unlocked all day, but the lights at that half of the store were off. So
God,
no.
You're like,
doors open. People want to come in. Great, fine. Don't.
Yeah, dude.
Oh God.
That reminds me of another story that just like drove me insane from the gym. This is totally unrelated to video games, but like this, like I have the only kind of like thing that I'm really like neurotic about is being late for things. I really hate being late for things.
I hate being late for things.
It's the only thing in life that really gives me anxiety. And so I'm always like,
I was just gonna say, Josh.
I used to really hate it, but I've become more relaxed, honestly.
Sure. Well, so I'm just like chronically early for everything, because of that. It's good, right? But here's the thing: I went in early to the gym, to coach, and I was there probably like 20 minutes early, and I was tired. And there's a bunch of like squishy, comfortable mats to lay on, So I lay down on this mat, and there's like a party going on, like a birthday party kind of thing, or some kind of event. And like some lady comes over to me and's like asking me to do shit for her. And I'm like, hey, like, here's the coaches for the party are right here. This is so-and-so and this is so-and-so. They're more than happy to help you. I'm not clocked in. I apologize. Like, but these guys are working the party. They're super happy to help. And like that was about it. And then like later on, my boss's wife pulls me aside and she like gives me a talking to about like being out there when I'm not like, on the clock or something like that. And then she bans me from like working any parties from then on. I'm like, what the hell? Not that I ever did those anyway. Cause like that's typically, yeah. And that's typically like what the kids do. Like I was on salary there. I was, a competitive team coach. Like I worked full time. Like, I wasn't doing like birthday parties and crap like that. You know what I mean? So it's usually what the like teenagers that they had going on there. But like it was just bizarre, and I was like, "What the hell?" Anyway, weird. I don't know why I had to tell you that, but
well, now
and it has nothing to do with video games. Let's talk about video games, guys.
Yes, or video game related things.
Yeah. What'd you guys play this week? Anything good?
A bit. We made some progress in Gears Tactics. Oh my God, that game gets good. Like, it is. I did not expect to have quite as much. It's not really my genre of game, but we are really digging it and playing it cooperatively. I've said it for the last 3 weeks. Well, it's not built to play cooperatively. It's built for single player only. And thank you, Colin. He set us up with Parsec, and it is phenomenal. Alex had some trouble connecting to the audio. Colin's got to take a look at that, but Because like it worked, it didn't work the first week, and then it did work the second week, and it didn't work this week. So we're like,
so explain to me how you turn it into a co-op game. Do you just like, because isn't it turn-based? So you just
it's turn-based and of your turn-based squad-based. So yeah, you just you have a squad of 4.
Decision for like certain squad members.
Correct. So I have Gabe and one other, and he has Sid and one other. And then we also interact with the chat that way too. So anytime we're upgrading a character, chat has control of what the upgrades go to.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Which is really quite fun too, because it forces us to think on our feet. So that was we got up to the we think it's the first big boss fight. It's a Brumac. It's ugly and huge, and we're scared, and that's where we stopped. Okay. So I can't wait for 2 weeks from now when we get to try it again.
Cool.
Sounds fun.
And then other than that, played a little bit of new Pokemon Snap, but every time I sat down, you're gonna love this, Josh. Every time I sat down to play new Pokemon Snap this week, Chamali and Adam were like, "Let's play Mercenary Kings." I'm like, "Okay." Switch goes away. Mercenary Kings. It's time for that. So I haven't got very far in Pokemon Snap, but still loving it. I played for a few. Yes, exactly. And I'm loving the fact that it's like I can take it slowly, play it casually, and just really enjoy
savor it.
Simple, mindless gaming.
Nice.
That is
part 2 of the review right now. So no, I'm just kidding.
And then I played a little bit of Cyber Shadow while Paul was derping around and what's that new game you're playing that?
Returnal, which I kind of really want to play, except that it's PS5 exclusives.
It's so
fun.
It's literally third-person Metroid meets like Resident Evil. I don't even know. Like,
and
dude, I had that boss down to like 1 hit. It had like a
oh my god, so our D&D session ended just as you were fighting that boss.
Oh man, and for like the third time that night, you mean?
Well, really, that particular run though.
Yeah.
You had it down, and Faye and I were like sitting in the chat cheering for you, and you came so freaking close, and it was just a like one misstep. And
I backed all the way back to the edge, and I tried to strafe to the right, and there's a fucking object there.
There was a block there.
And
wow.
So but it had like a bee stick of health. Oh, dude.
Oh, it was negligible amount of health. Any hit would have killed it, and it was so disappointing. And then I had to go to bed because it was super late. You were in late that night.
I did run a little bit late that night. Yeah. Like 8:30 my time.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was.
Or maybe 9.
I really want to try that game at some point. But just seeing how hard it is, it's taken it off the console seller list for me.
So it's not like
honestly that makes it a selling point for me.
Yeah.
Like how
you like really hard games, and you're good at them. Like for me, that's just going to take a long time.
Well, so for me, I'm not 100% with you on that, Zach, but I do see the reasoning behind that. But I compare it more to like a Mega Man situation, right? Like Mega Man games are incredibly hard, but I'm always gonna buy whatever Mega Man game comes out. And like the bosses, this boss included, what it boils down to is learning the patterns, right? So like the first time, and same thing with Cyber Shadow too. To be honest, like the first time I fought that boss, I was getting dicked down in the first phase, then I was beating the first phase, without getting touched, and then I'm getting dicked down in the second phase. And then, on the second phase, I'm barely taking any damage. And so like once you learn the patterns, you'll be good, I think.
It's kind of like a Souls-like, but
no, absolutely. But at the same time, like, we have, based on the format of the show, we do have some obligation to finish game or make some decent progress in games before we can review them.
Yeah.
And invariably you're going to review Returnal, and I'm not. So my gut tells me, as much as I want to play this game, I really should probably play something else, because we will have already reviewed it by the time.
Yeah.
Will we?
By the time
we have?
Who knows? Right. But by the time I get a PS5, because you and Candace are the only ones that have them at this point in the world, on our world, and then secure a copy of Returnal and find time to play it.
Yeah,
I can pretty much guarantee you'll have finished that game.
You could always just come visit and just play it.
There you go.
Would like to do that at some point.
That would be a cheaper trip than buying a PS5.
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially since my buddy's dad is a pilot and gets us really cheap tickets.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, my buddy's dad's a pilot for JetBlue.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Very cool. Josh, what'd you play this week, man?
I feel like I played a lot, but maybe it wasn't as much. So lots of Pokemon Snap, but honestly, same scenario as Zach, where it's like, I've just been so drained after work, and I've really been grinding out the streaming, and I'm just like dead after that. Like, it's not feeling like a job. It's still really fun, but as soon as I put it down, I'm like eating and then asleep. It's like so much. So very little Pokemon Snap, but it's still so fun. I fucking love that game. I retained my 9.8 from last week. Amazing. We beat Banjo-Tooie co-op. I love Banjo-Tooie now. Fuck, we hated on that game so much before we beat it.
You guys did. You really did.
Yeah, we shit all over it. And honestly, it's because we played it co-op.
Yep.
It only took us 12, 13 hours to beat, and we did it in like a long time, like 7 or 8 streams. But it was really fun. Co-op is the way to go. So we're really diving into that stuff. Colin has been working vigorously, and he just texted me, he thinks he just cracked it on modding co-op Mario Galaxy and Mario Galaxy 2. And so we literally played both of them yesterday. Galaxy 1 crashed. This morning he was, I know, right? This morning he was like, I think I got it. It's not going to crash. Like, I think I got it down. So without motion controls or anything, it's like we have like control settings for the motion. Like the C stick is like the actual like moving the Wiimote. It's crazy. It's crazy. It feels really good, but we just got to work out the kinks. Mario Galaxy 2 feels a little broken because it's all on one screen. I was like really excited when that started up, and then it's all on one screen. And if Luigi dies, Mario dies. This is a huge flaw in the mod.
Yeah, no.
So like if one person dies, you both die. And like literally Luigi can't ride on Yoshi and do a bunch of other stuff. So there's like a few scenes, or like have the camera centered on him. There's a few scenes where like it just doesn't work, and I'm wondering how we even progress. So we're waiting on that, but we're probably going to be streaming Mario Galaxy 1 tomorrow. I am really fucking excited about that. Yeah, co-op, like, what?
I love Mario Galaxy 1 so much.
So it's going to be a parsec experience. So it's going to be a little different, but I'm pretty excited. And then I don't even, what else? Other games? That's the big one. And I don't know. Might play some Donkey Kong 64 co-op too. We've been talking about like what to do if this whole thing fails, but yeah, Mario Galaxy, that's the big exciting one.
There's been a lot of rumors lately about a new Donkey Kong game.
There has.
What? Give me the rumors.
So there's two different ones that I've heard. One of them is actually a 3D Donkey Kong game. I really doubt that one's real. The other one is another 2D one. You know, like So and that one,
Country 5, basically. Or
it sounds plausible. It sounds plausible. So
you will see me
along with
out.
a 2D Metroid, which we've heard that rumor before. But
where
like
this rumor for the Donkey Kong
there
come
was
from?
just a new rumor from dude. Shoot, I was watching the video.
Is it our boy, the guy who's never wrong?
No, I don't think so. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I honestly don't. What's his name? I'd recognize it. I don't remember,
honestly, but he was literally like He was like Paper Mario and a 2D Metroid game, and then Paper Mario got announced like 2 weeks later, and we were like, oh my god, he wasn't lying. But then Metroid didn't quite get announced yet. I cannot remember his name, but you were like, I think it was you who said, Paul, that he was like a really reputable guy who had like that. Yeah, he like nailed his spoiler, or what is it? He had nailed it in the past, like with these.
So
guesses.
I don't know about this Zippo guy. This dude Zippo is the guy who was talking about the new Metroid, and like he basically laid out Nintendo's E3 online plans.
So you said a 3D and a 2D Metroid.
So the 3D one wasn't included in this leak. The 3D leak was earlier, and that one's the one that sounds less plausible.
Like the reason I think all of this might be semi-like, the only link I can see is that Retro Studios is working on both series. So Retro Studios now holds the reins on Donkey Kong and Metroid.
Yeah,
it did before, but so it's plausible.
Allegedly,
like a big package coming out.
In the case of the 2D Metroid, it is not Retro Studios that's working on it. It's the same studio who did the remake of Metroid 2 for the 3DS.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Exciting. Very cool.
And they did an awesome job with that.
Yeah,
supposedly, like in the leak, he said it's 200% done. Like it is a completely finished, ready to release game.
Holy shit. So we're just gonna get like a it's out tomorrow type scenario, like Nintendo likes to do.
Fine, great. Yeah. Josh and I will buy it immediately.
Yeah, I will buy it.
Shut up and take our money,
dude. If it is the same people who made the one for 3DS, the remake of Return of Samus,
yeah,
I would be willing to guess they just ported that to, which I'd be totally fine with.
I'd honestly be fine with anything at this point. Like anything. Like even if it's a super remake or something, like a super remake can be sexy. But like I would really like a new one. If I'm being honest, it's been so long since we got some original Metroid content. I would really, really like a new Metroid game. Yeah. 2D, 3D, all of it.
That's why I'm playing Returnal. Returnal feels so much like Metroid. It's insane.
And they gotta like sate us for like Prime 4 because they know we haven't like even touched the series. Yeah, I don't even know when the last thing we got. It was a port,
the last thing we got was that like abomination of a game.
Oh God,
that was it was like Prime Hunters or not?
Prime Hunter.
No,
yeah,
not was it Prime Hunter? No,
it wasn't.
Prime Hunter was the original DS one, right? I don't know. It was a Prime one where like Samus isn't even in it. And it's like
the actual fuck?
Like you run around as like Space Marines or some shit like that. And
I vaguely remember what you're talking about. So Other M was a while ago, right? We're already burying that, right?
Yeah.
Oh. Bravo to Metroid for recovering beautifully from like 2 pretty failed games there.
Yeah.
And a few of the 2D ones didn't even like land very well with the audience, but the series never dies. Also, I
don't think there's been a single 2D one that hasn't been critically acclaimed.
I think some of them, yeah, you're right, probably. I was thinking some of them
like the one that did the worst was actually certainly not Fusion. Fusion's fucking awesome.
Glorious. I would love a remake of that.
The one that did the worst was the remake of 2, I would say, on the 3DS, and that's an awesome game. I think it was just because it's like at the end of the life cycle of the
it was
console.
A niche and I am honestly I'm not happy that
Federation
3DS
Force.
Federation Force. I was gonna say because Metroid Prime Hunters, I think was the first one that was on DS, and it was really awesome. Actually, like it was, and it had a really awesome like online multiplayer. It was like playing Halo on a fucking DS back in like 2012.
They really were going for it, like Prime
really good,
on the DS,
or maybe even earlier than that. No, it was earlier than 2012, like 2006 or something like that.
I'm only happy slightly that the 3DS is out of circulation because now when they announce shit like this, we know it's coming to the Switch. It's like, a Metroid, 2D Metroid, I would have certainly put my money on it being on the 3DS, but now there's no more 3DS games, so it is definitely coming to us. I'm pretty happy about that. Not that, like, I just want to stream this shit is really what it is, so I want to be able to play it on the big boy.
I'm with you. Let's see, what did I play this week? I played, I'm still really on this Game Boy Advance kick because I modded my Game Boy Advance and it's a lot of fun.
You need to play Mario and Luigi.
I don't know. Yeah, I do need to do that. I don't know if I beat it last week and already talked about it or if I beat it this week, but Castlevania Aria of Sorrow, beat that.
Good one.
Fucking awesome game.
I'm watching that show.
One of my favorites. Yeah, it sucks.
A lot of people say it sucks. I kind of dig it. It's like a comic book.
All right, I'll get into that after we talk about the game.
Everyone's too pretty though. I don't like how everyone's so attractive.
I've got a ton of opinions about this.
Everyone being so attractive.
Yeah,
it's a
cartoon. So I've played that. I've been playing some Mega Man 02 still. That game's so stupid hard.
It's so hard, but it's so good.
And I actually started, we were talking about Metroid. I started playing Metroid Fusion again. I love that game.
It's such a good game.
Then, of course, I've been playing Returnal on stream, which is just a blasty. I'm not that great at it, but it's still a super fun and awesome game. Like, really fucking awesome. There. I will. And then I got the PS3. No. I got the PS3 emulator working this weekend, so I was actually able to play some of Genji 2.
That's crazy, actually. The PS3 emulator is a thing.
Yeah, it's rad.
And I saw you got the greatest game collection ever for Adam for birth month.
What'd you get?
I did. The Mega Man Zero
collection. Obviously.
Obviously.
I was amazed that he had never played a single one of those games.
I couldn't believe it.
Especially because I've been playing them forever when we still lived in the same house. Like,
I
don't know how the hell he didn't play one. So like, that
blew
just
my mind.
blew my mind too. Like, he's like, yep, never picked one up. I was like, what?
That's crazy.
So I had to I wasn't planning on getting that for him at all.
No.
I'm
glad you said to me that you were getting it for him too, because
yeah.
I was on my way out the door to get it for him.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So anyhow,
honestly, that's probably something I should dig into, just because I have been so all over the place with Mega Man that I need to build it. I feel like those are games
you would
that I'm
love
really
these games.
Like you would love
dude. Not only is there really amazing platforming, but there's really amazing bullet hell-esque kind of it's. And you should watch some speedrunners. The speedrunners, the movement is fucking insane.
Glorious, yes.
Really awesome movesets. It also really, really rewards excellence. So
I am aggressively mediocre at it.
Yeah, me too.
The only reason I'm any good at it at all is because I've played it so many times.
So Mega Man Zero 2, for instance. There's an entire move set, an entire set of skills that you can unlock that you can only unlock if you don't suck at the game. You have to get above A tier on every level.
S rank only.
Is it S rank? I thought it was A rank.
There's an A and S rank one, and there is I think it's in the New Game Plus mode. There's an S rank only mode.
Oh, wow. I'm talking about just unlocking the X skills, the EX skills.
Right.
Yeah, you need
There's armor for S ranking only.
Oh, gotcha, cool. Yeah. So
wait, ranking isn't based on collectible stuff, is it though? Okay,
no,
that's how it was in
precision
Sonic,
hits
and I hated that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm into that.
Yeah, it's based on not sucking.
Time, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I always get sluggish warrior. I'm E tier.
Oh my god, yeah, I'm C rank, D rank, just barely scraping through.
Yeah,
but it doesn't matter. Yes, it rewards that, but you can be perfectly fine at the game and get the whole game experience, even if you're just picking your way through it.
Sounds amazing. And there's a bunch of games too.
I have replays of all of Mega Man 01 on my YouTube, Josh. If you should, I'll link it up.
Check that out. Yes, drop the link.
I've also been dropping some a couple links in our Discord of move tutorials, and they're insane. Ooh. You should check those out. They're freaking crazy.
Gonna be a Mega Man guy.
But there's I think there's 4 mainline games, right? And then there's 2
there's 2 ZX and ZX Advent.
Yeah.
And the ZX and ZX Advent games are not as good. It's cool to be able to play with some of the other
still really
cool
good games.
They are.
But they're not Mega
Man.
But
I got to the end of it and I was like, I don't care about this anymore. Yeah. I just stopped playing.
It's hard. They made a weird choice in not using the main characters, right? X or Zero. Which makes you automatically not care as much,
Yeah, it's amazing what that can do for a game.
Yeah, so still awesome games, and being able to basically play as Harpuya, that's
is
so
freaking
cool,
awesome. Yeah,
but anyway, but yeah, I digress. That's what we played this week. Lots of awesome stuff. Very happy about it.
Aren't you forgetting a game?
What game?
The one you're reviewing?
No, I didn't play that this week. Really? I am going to review that game, but I didn't play it this week. I finished that last week and the week before.
Honestly, I haven't touched it since. I'm really my time is just so all over the place now. I really want to play it. I'm probably going to play it on these next. I have 3 days off right now, so
get yourself a good set of headphones.
Yeah, I'm not playing that off headset. The music is
get in there and freaking love it. So let's actually get into that. All right, let me.
I'm very excited.
Switch over to
no spoilers. No spoilers, if you can.
I don't remember story well enough to give you spoilers.
Perfect. Excellent.
So
oh no, that sounds like a point deduction. Oh no.
No. That's a me deduction.
Oh, okay.
The story's amazing. The story's really good. Let's just get into it. Okay, so we're gonna jump in. This is my review of Narita
Boy. I like how he says in the beginning.
So the game that I'm reviewing this week is Narita Boy. This game is a 2D action side-scrolling adventure game. It's got some slight RPG elements, but not really anything hardcore. It's mostly just really fun, beautiful action. It's in the pixel art style. I have to say it's probably the most beautiful pixel art I've ever seen as far as like scenery is concerned.
Zach disagrees, but
no, he qualified it with the scenery thing. I totally agree with
yeah,
that.
I mean, look at we got the main character on screen right now. The main character
look at this shit.
Doesn't look great, but the rest of this looks fucking incredible.
The scenery,
look at this, it's insane, dude.
So
cool.
yeah, so like I think they could have made a more interesting looking character, but I also still respect the design choice here. I think
it's supposed to be like not like you see. Like you see other people's faces and shit. I feel like you're not supposed to like have an attachment to him. He's almost supposed to be like a figure that anyone could relate to. I don't know how to explain it. Like, you know, that's what I gathered at least. Like he's not supposed to look anything specific. Is what I don't know.
Right.
I'm totally okay with that assessment.
Yeah.
Like that's not necessarily inaccurate. So let's get into the details here. Narita Boy is developed by Studio Koba. It was released on March 30th, 2021. I played it on Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, you've got this game.
Got it.
Super worth checking out. I played it on PC, but I believe it's available on Switch, PC, Mac, Xbox, and PlayStation.
I have it on my Mac. That is a thing that I do.
That's awesome.
I just wanted to see if it would work. It did.
Oh, nice.
Badass. It is $25 retail, but it's currently on sale on Steam until the 18th. So you got 2 days if you want to pick it up for $18.74.
What a random ass number.
Strange number.
It is a strange number, but anyway, but it's also like if you have Game Pass, you have the game. So like that's where I'd recommend it. But really if you can it's just 25%.
25% off. Okay.
That makes sense.
Still, like you'd think they'd round up to,
round off to
1875.
Sure.
Like,
but regardless of the price, you should check this game out. If you enjoy games that have like really good action, really great visuals, some of the best video game music you've ever heard in your goddamn life.
The music's so good.
Like a powerful and moving story, like. Get this
what else do you want? That's like it's hitting every base. Like,
it really does. It hits a lot of bases. Now, that's not to say it doesn't have any negatives. First, let's talk about. I mean, like I can elaborate a little more on what I like about the game. Like I've kind of already talked about, how beautiful it is. How like the action's awesome. The story's good. Like there's very few things not to like here. All right. For me anyway. Now one of those things that I can state actually happens to be the beautiful visuals. And the reason I say that is because I feel like they picked form over function in some areas of this game. There are certain times when the gorgeousness of your scenery interrupts like how you're supposed to platform, right? Like Josh and I both ran into the same exact problem in this game. And the only reason I was watching his stream and like we're both racking our brains how do we progress from here? And I'm like, dude, I had the same problem. I had to go back and look at my previous stream to find the moment where I surpassed that area. And it's the simplest, stupidest thing. It's just a door that has like a small set of stairs in front of it, very small, like so small it's almost like not even noticeable, especially in this art style. And if you're standing right in front of the door, you don't get any like prompt to go through it. But if you just hop up onto the stairs, you can go through the door. But like the stairs are practically unnoticeable because of like the art in that area. The only reason I found it is I accidentally fell onto it. And I like immediately had to send that clip to Josh because I was like, holy shit, I accidentally fell onto this is how I got past here. Like, that's how you do it. Like, I can't, like, I felt bad watching you play that because I felt like you were getting frustrated. And I was like, no, like this game's so beautiful and awesome. Like, I know you're going to love this game. We have to get you past this part. Don't let this ruin the game for you, you know?
It was crazy. I was like racking my brain. I was like, "There's no way to move forward." Like there was not a clarity. Like I literally walked by this fucking door 70 times, and no prompt, like none.
Yeah,
it was insane.
Yeah, because there's a stupid tiny little ledge.
You have to jump onto it. It's like that is very unclear.
It's very unclear. And so, I wouldn't say there's a lot of that going on in this game, but it certainly does. Like, I wouldn't say as bad as that instance. But
that's probably the biggest offender.
That's for sure the biggest offender in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But it certainly happened. Like, there's other areas in the game where you're kind of confused as to where to go because of the art. Like, things kind of blend a little too much. So again, not necessarily a negative thing, but if I'm gonna say something negative about the game, that's gonna be it. Another thing that I would say, like, again, not really, like, I'm like a huge point off for this, but the controls in some cases are a little bit sluggish. It almost feels like there's a tiny bit of a delay because of the animations, but it's barely noticeable. It's barely noticeable, and it definitely doesn't make the game unplayable by any stretch. Like, the game still controls very well, and, you know, the combat's very good. You get a pretty cool list of you know, techniques as you go through the game, that help you with combat and stuff, and yeah, it's well done. So the gameplay's good. The art, like I said, it is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, you could see it right now on the screen. It's some of the best. Some of the best pixel art I've ever seen.
I can't even believe it's all pixel art. It's like so fucking insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Let's not forget like the TV effect. So it like looks like you're playing it on an old either like TV or PC.
Yeah,
like so cool.
I love that about Cyber
that is
Shadow.
A filter. That is a filter that is automatically on. You can turn that off. It still looks really good with the filter off, but I would recommend playing it
with the full effect. Full effect.
It looks absolutely fantastic.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So definitely do that. The music, like I said, is some of the best video game music I've ever heard. It's like if Daft Punk did a game soundtrack. Like very, you know, very Tron-y.
This whole game is very Tron-y. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Nice.
TWRP.
Yeah. It's so good, and like, it's powerful. It really like changes the mood of a scene, like in a very powerful way. Like when you go into like a fight, like, you know, like my blood started boiling, like, you know, like like you can really feel it, and it's just like, I don't know. I wish more games took their music as seriously as this does, because it dramatically changes how you feel when you get into different situations.
So good.
Yeah, it's really, really fantastic. The sound design, again, same kind of thing. Like, it's very good. It kind of matches the whole vibe of the game. Is the game difficult? Yeah, but not like super difficult. Definitely not Cyber Shadow difficult. The final boss I did struggle with a little bit, but not too bad. Yeah,
it's like a Zelda game for difficulty. Like, you don't know what you're doing until you figure it out, and then you get better at that technique, and then so on and so forth.
Yeah,
it's not like egregious at all. Yeah,
by no means, but it's the right amount. Like, it's not too easy at any moment. There was never a moment where I'm like, well, that shit was too easy. Like, nowhere even close. So it, like, everything kind of is really well balanced, I think. Overall rating and impression.
Oh yeah, excited.
Here we go.
Okay, now I'm going to qualify this because we've talked about recently how I think we give too high of scores on video games.
No.
And if any game deserves an insanely high score, it's this game.
That's what I'm thinking.
And you know, I just think we should like take more things into account, like have a more consistent rating scale, right? Again, kind of like I said, I was a gymnast growing up, so like your standard gymnastics scoring would be like a 1 through 10 point system, you know, and like, let's say you have full value in your routine, that routine starts at a 10. Your deductions come from, you know, do you take extra steps? Do you know, did you fall? Did you have like bent knees, or, you know, your toes weren't pointed, kind of thing? And there's small, like deductions ranging from 1/10 to 1 point, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say in this case, for the deductions that I would take, these are very small deductions. This is like,
Yeah.
like my toe was not pointed all the way, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 2/10 of a deduction for the visuals, just because of, like we said before, like they as beautiful as they are, it kind of gets in the way of itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we got 2/10 of a deduction there. And then I'm gonna say 1/10 for the controls, because they do, like, if you're really paying attention, you do feel like a little bit of input lag.
Damn.
And that's not bad, right? So that puts us at a 9.7.
I thought you said tenths.
Tenths of a point.
Yeah, so 9.97.
Yeah.
Right, 9.
That's hundredths, Josh.
Oh, that's hundredths. Never mind.
That's hundredths.
9.7. Nice.
9.7. Still a really good score.
Okay, yeah, that's how
Still a
math
really
works.
very good score. Now, if
that's incredible, yeah.
If there was something like,
slightly worse than Pokemon Snap.
Slightly worse than Pokemon. I'd say that's still a really high score.
No, it's killing.
That's a very high
there
score.
are all games and then there's Nintendo games. Let's just be real. But yeah, anyway.
Sure. I mean, if this had something like, let's say that the graphics made it unplayable, or like virtually, not like virtually unplayable, but like they were way worse than what they are as far as like being able to find where you're going, I would say that could go up to like a 5/10 deduction, or maybe even a full point, bringing us down to like somewhere in the 8s. Still a great game. But we're gonna stick with that original score. It's a 9.7.
That's the strongest score you've like ever given a game, I think.
No.
You gave Ghost a 10. I think you gave Ghost like a 9.8 actually.
Yeah, which I'm not gonna give out any 10s anymore either.
No.
I
think you said Ghost was a 10 after the DLC actually.
Yeah, the 10, the DLC brought it up to a 10.
That's so. I'm gonna throw this out there. I tell my students that nobody in my class will ever get 100, because that means you're perfect. And being humans, we can't be perfect by definition. And any game that's created by a human is therefore, by extension, cannot be perfect.
Yeah.
So I'm with you, Paul. I'm not going to give out any 10s.
Darn near.
Even
near
a multiple choice test.
Yeah,
I don't give multiple choice.
And so that's also
okay.
like, I mean, again, going back to like the gymnastics analogy, you can have a perfect routine. Like there are games that are given out. It's so insanely rare, though. It's so insanely rare, and you're basically, by giving something a 10, you're saying that there's not a game that could be better than that.
But it's like saying in its own right. Like, for example, you have like the gymnasts who are Olympic status, and then the gymnasts who are like kids, and it's not as expected of them to be flawless. So like maybe it's slightly different. But then that's also saying
comparing indie to total.
That's true.
And
it's like
an
saying
indie game.
Different grades.
So this is like, if I was ever going to give out a 10, especially for an indie game, this would be the one,
Yeah.
But we're sticking with 9.7. Is the game worth buying at the current full price, or wait for sale? Literally buy it at any price. Like, just play this game however
it's free if you get Game Pass.
It's free if you got Game Pass. Yeah. So like, do that, or it's currently $18, almost $19, not too bad. I think it's worth the full price at $25. It's a fantastic fucking game.
How long? If let's say full beat to 100%. Like how long regular and how long 100%?
Well, so I don't know that there's like 100%. I think you kind of have to 100% this game.
Okay.
I could be wrong about that. There might be secrets that I don't know about in this game, but like this game doesn't really feel like the type of game that like forces you to like 100% stuff.
That's good.
Like I think it's really more about kind of telling its own story than like hiding stuff. But how long did this take for me to beat? I want to say maybe, shoot, I would have to look.
Like 10 hours.
How long was this stream? That was a 2-hour stream. This was part 3. So maybe right around 10 hours.
Okay, that's pretty solid.
Something like that. So yeah, pretty
sounds like the
decent
right
length
size.
for yeah. And at the end, again, I'm not gonna give any spoilers, but at the end, it definitely leaves you wanting more and definitely promises more. So
Narita man.
Narita man.
That would be amazing.
Oh, that's hilarious. Merman.
Essence of wetness.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, like I think it's an appropriate length game and it leaves you wanting more.
Nice.
And I think there will be more. So
that's really awesome to know.
Good stuff. Anywho, let's wrap this up. I'm going to switch back to... It's a great game, dude. Absolutely. Very good game. Let's switch back to the main screen here. Shaklacky. We've done it. All right.
Huzzah.
Huzzah it is. Yeah. Dude, I really love that game. I recommend everyone plays it. And this kind of, like, I think fits really well with our topic tonight. Our topic tonight is music and sound design in games.
Yes.
And I think that game that we just talked about is a prime example of like really well done, especially the music. I mean, the sound effects are fine. Like they're fairly standard video game sound effects, and they fit perfectly into that game just fine. But it's not anything that you're like, this is stupendous. The music, on the other hand, like I can't tell you. The battle music, especially. The battle music is the most like transformative music in a game that I've experienced. Like it really, really like alters your mental state in that moment. Like you go from, you know, chill, like pretty cool fucking music that matches these beautiful environments to, you know, this powerful, like I'm in this intense battle with these fucking like computer viruses or whatever the hell they are, and like it just like really, really sucks you in. I think like that's you know, more games should pay more attention to that music. You know, it's like in a movie, right? Like if there's not like appropriate like scene setting like score for that movie, you're not gonna accomplish the same feel, you know, like
well, I mean, the best example that I can possibly come up with of that in cinema is Halloween, the original Halloween, Michael Myers. Oh my God, the soundtrack to that! I can hear the theme song and immediately have to turn all the lights on in the room. That movie, if you watch it on mute, it's not scary at all. Like it is.
You
just
watch it,
not
it's like
scary.
Circus music. It's not scary at all.
And it's incredibly goofy. But as soon as you turn on that theme song, it immediately, like I've got goosebumps just thinking about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And there are certainly games that do that.
Oh yes.
Before the show, I think Chamali brought up Resident Evil.
Oh yeah.
Now, I haven't played a Resident Evil game in a long time, but I do remember that being a thing early on.
Ambiance is huge also, not even just like even if there's no sound, setting a mood is very important. Like to me, if the music and the sound and all that isn't there and isn't on par, like, and you're not feeling like the main character is dying and you're not hearing something intense, you're like, how am I supposed to feel right now? Do I even care? Like it pulls me out. Like I need amazing soundtracks to even qualify it as like an incredibly good game. Like all incredibly good games in my mind all have flawless soundtracks and some or sound design. Like one of my favorites, and everyone's like whatever, like two of my favorites actually I'll just give out. So Diddy Kong Racing and Banjo-Kazooie. These games are made by their sound design and their soundtracks. Like I probably wouldn't be playing Diddy Kong Racing anymore at all if that soundtrack didn't exist. Like it really just sucks you into this fun world. And like Ocarina of Time is another one, like you really feel that ominous, like these dungeons are scary. There's something sacred here, something real going on.
Also,
like,
a lot of games from that era, like I think like aside from music, really hit the sound design on the head. Like just think about how many like little sound bites people will make. Like they'll make Mario's exactly. They'll make Mario sounds with their face exactly, or like the fucking fairy Navi, you know.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were really trying to set up. Yeah. And it was a lot of experimenting with like the new things. And Link obviously didn't talk in the old one. And Mario didn't make any sounds. And then they're like, let's try. We have the capability. And it just adds so much. You feel like you're really controlling someone. Like, it's not just a sprite anymore. Like, you feel your character. You hear Mario's shoes walking down the fucking halls. Yeah. Like, your shoes change from grass to glass to like to whatever, you know, like to smushy sounds. Like, all of this sets a mood. Like, without any music, like you could hear like, oh, I'm in a swamp now. Like, I know now I'm like walking through some like mud or something. Like, it really just sets this ambiance. It's like, no, without that, and I'll notice when there's not that, I'll be like, it feels like I should be hearing this right now, and it will bother me. Like, it absolutely, it draws you out of the game a little, and you're like, I feel like they just missed something here.
Sound design can also be used to like, how would I describe this? You could use it like something people have been focusing on a lot lately is like 3D sound. Right.
Yes.
So like
ASMR and stuff.
Like using it to not only just like make things sound realistic, but like or you know whatever set some kind of mood, but like give you like real-time cues as to what's going on spatially. Right. I think a game that does that really, really well, probably the best that I've played, is the Hunt Showdown. Which is it's kind of a battle royale, but it's really more about getting in with your team and killing some fucking monster and extracting its soul.
Sounds amazing.
And getting the fuck out. It actually is a rad game. It's very cool. But it's kind of like Tarkov, like Escape from Tarkov, only with like, you know, like demons in a swamp. Yeah, it's cool.
Way
it's
better.
Very cool. Yeah. But like what they do in that game is like incredible as far as the sound design. Like you have to like watch where you're stepping to make sure you're not, you know, stepping on something that's going to make noise, that's going to alert some, you know, that's whatever.
Really
and,
cool.
You know, and you can hear people from like really incredible distances in the game, like if they like bump into some chains while they're walking through an area, you know, and that will, like the effort and the you know, intelligence that they put into the sound design of that game is fucking incredible. How they make like the your spatial awareness so real just with sound. Like it's very, very cool.
It's crazy to see how like, a lot of the old games like really don't have that. Like, and I like the one that comes to mind really is A Link to the Past, and like it does have some sound, but like a lot of it
music.
is like great music, and I'm still like, okay, so a game. I was trying to think just now, like, can you do without one or the other? And it has happened without sound design in the past, but like you really need the music. The music
you need one or the other for sure.
You need one or the other because some games like have surreal like just ambiance and like nature music and stuff, and the sound is there, but without the music and no sound design, I feel like there's like a huge loss there.
And there's a fine line though. You can overcorrect into having kind of perfect music, but not good area noise. And my example of that is Sunset Overdrive. Sunset Overdrive has absolutely spot on music.
Killer music.
And it's punk rock, and it's
super fun,
super exciting and fun and colorful, just as much so as the game itself. But I don't really even remember like my feet hitting the ground, or like I remember enemies going squish, but like whatever, that's fine. So I feel like they've really put too much effort into having perfect music, where they probably could have recycled some of the songs for it. Been perfectly fine, and just spent a little bit more time refining the ambient sound effects.
Sound effects really are a big deal. I mean,
they really are.
I forget which guy said this, but there's a Bungie developer that was talking about weapon balancing, and he's like, sometimes they would they would and he's like, sometimes in order to make a weapon feel stronger, instead of like changing the stats of the gun, we just change the way it sounds.
A thicker
and
blast.
Exactly. And like
More
I can
echo,
attest to that. There's certainly guns that I will play with because they sound better than other guns. They sound more powerful. Like, I'm not doing more damage by shooting this person with this gun versus that gun necessarily, but this gun sounds like I'm doing more damage.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, we ran into that in Mercenary Kings. My gun is definitely below par based on what Shamali and Adam are using, but I like the. I mean, part of it is the speed of how, or like the rate of fire is significantly higher.
Yeah,
and the sound keeps up with it. Every single bullet is a sound effect.
That's so big and something really new. Also, like it used to be like, okay, you reloaded, and like you kind of knew, but now it's like open my fucking thing, like dump out the bullets here. Each bullet hit the ground, like fucking put it back in the revolver, and then like it's like so cool and just very pleasing. Especially, I will give it to Destiny on this one. Like really awesome. I was blown away by. So I did actually play the first one. Just really blown away by just how every little detail was like so impressed, especially with sound design and like all that. I was like, wow, like I can hear his like finger on the trigger and all that shit. Like it's just so cool like that. Newer games really, and like orchestrating music. This is a thing that like just started on like the Wii era, you know, like with like Skyward Sword type era, and like not even 10 years ago, 10, 11 years ago, they started orchestrating music, and now they can do just so much more. They were like scared to kind of reach out, but like now everything has a sound. Now every song is like as beautiful as possible. So like we're really in the height of it now. Whereas older games like Banjo and whatnot were great. They're like really able to do everything now, but that also puts a lot of pressure on them where if they falter, you're like what the fuck? Why didn't this have something so perfect? Like we're getting kind of like treated really well, and now if it's not there, we're like, okay, we got spoiled.
That's something that another part of why I don't. Not to bring this up again, but
I know what you're gonna say.
You know what I'm gonna say. Another part of why Breath of the Wild doesn't feel like a Zelda game to me.
No, there's not enough.
Is because there's the music. The music is not there.
The music. Okay. Yeah. That at first I was like, oh, cool. These songs are great if you listen to them for 5 hours straight. Like you finally get to the end, you know? Yeah. The music is such a driving force. Like literally it's in every game. And now we're just getting a breath. There's no ocarina or like
what the fuck?
Wind Waker or like it's just someone's breath.
There's like such a motif of sound in every Zelda game.
Yeah.
And that's part of
crucial.
What makes it a Zelda game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ranging all the way back to the original Legend of Zelda. There's just
every single one. The flute. Every single one has like music as a crux. Yeah.
Right. And Breath of the Wild didn't have that. And that was such a disappointment to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I can't hum a song from Breath of the Wild. I can hum a song from every fucking Zelda game ever made.
Yeah.
Yep.
I will say the sound design in Breath is really, really good. And
it is
like ambiance and all that. And you can like literally feel the wind blowing through your hair. And I can like feel how cold it is on this mountain and all that stuff like really puts it into perspective. But damn, I just wish there were some fucking epic tracks that I remember.
So I think that's an example of what Zach was saying before, where they kind of leaned in really hard on one thing and neglected another. They overcorrected with like the sound design, very good, absolutely very good. But like leaving out the music of a Zelda game.
Hey, one guy on a piano, can you do the whole fucking soundtrack?
Yes. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, just doing little tinkles every now and again. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Like literally, I'll be is the sound still on?
Hey buddy, go take a pee.
Yeah, seriously. It literally, like sometimes I would not hear the song, and I'm like, is it still like?
I know.
Yeah. But sometimes the tracks like wouldn't even be there. You're just like, is it still? Oh, there it is. There's a tinkle. You know, like But no, Ocarina of Time, we're like, oh, and like shit. We're like, oh, we're in the fucking well. We're in the fire temple now. I can hear that or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
we just got raided by Deacon. I need to turn the sound off for the podcast for raids.
Oh shit! Thanks for the raid, homie.
Super loud, Deacon. Nice. Thank you so much for the raid. If you're joining us right now, we're talking about like video game sound design and music. Nice. And you probably.
Games... Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say you probably were catching the tail end of us whining about how Breath of the Wild like left out the Zelda music.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, the Zelda music motif specifically.
Yeah.
Because it had music. It just is forgettable.
Yeah, but nothing that really made it identifiably Zelda.
Right. Exactly.
You know? Yeah.
Not
cool,
a single...
like the wind.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
I would go as far as to call that a disappointment, a surprising disappointment.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
What are some games that surprised you with amazing balance? Because I have one.
Let's hear that. Yeah.
Okay, so a couple Halloweens ago, my chat challenged me to play the Call of Cthulhu video game.
Okay.
Which was I mean, the production value on that was really garbage, at least aesthetically. It looked like a Source Engine game that came out, not long ago. The writing was pretty mediocre. The gameplay was it was a first-person game, but it wasn't a shooter, so it was kind of misleading. But the sound design was off the chart. And so I was using I happened to grab this on my way sitting down. I was using this headset as a Turtle Beach Z22, and the 360-degree sound was astonishingly good. There's a grand total of like 3 jump scares in the entire game, and if you're paying attention to it, it telegraphs those jump scares pretty clearly. You know when they're coming, but if you're not, it
shit yourself.
Hits you. And I happened to be interacting with chat at the time, and all of a sudden, I turn around, giant jump scare, headset comes off my head. Like I was so scared by it, and it was all auditory, 100% auditory. The visual was hot garbage. Like I went back and watched the replay. I'm like, that thing scared me.
Yeah.
And it was 100% down to sound.
That's awesome.
Because the music was
perfect. Like you guys probably didn't notice this happening, but if you go back and watch when Deacon rated us, I jumped in my chair because
the sound design on the stream is great.
Yeah, no, like I get the notification. That's why I said I need to turn off the sound on that notification for the podcast, because like that blast of sound at that appropriate moment will get you every time.
Yeah. So it was really impressive, and from then on I started paying really close attention to the sound, and every musical cue, every sound effect just absolutely matches perfectly with what's going on in the environment. I was astonished because that game did not have high production value. It was released on all major platforms, but it was just kind of felt thrown together in every other way. So that was a game that I was just really surprised by having really, really good sound engineering.
I don't know if anything like surprised me recently, but Bowser's Fury was so good. The music, I was like, damn, Mario, you just can't stop with the hits. Like, surely you ran out after Odyssey. Nope. This is even better soundtrack, in my opinion, than Odyssey. Like, they just keep crushing it. Like, Nintendo really has a knowledge of like how to make their characters feel and move. And it's so much so that it could just be Mario by himself, but like they make this one character feel and sound and talk in this way that you're like, wow, he's able to do everything. I know exactly what he's doing. I know when he stops on a dime and turns the other way, like I can hear that on the ground. And the music is just never, ever, ever bad. Like you can remember every song, constant hits. Yeah, that one for me was the big winner, at least this past year. Like, holy shit, I still like have all those songs memorized. So fun.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait.
Again, not really a surprise, but Ghost of Tsushima for me, I think really nailed both.
We all knew, but
all right. Well, the music's great. Like, they've got really, really badass, like traditional Japanese music going on with traditional instruments. In fact, one of my friends knows one of the guys who did I think the shamisen music for it. I could be wrong. Maybe it was a different instrument.
That's cool.
But super cool. And then like the sound design's really great. Like when there's these little birds that will lead you to certain locations, like secrets in the game. They're scattered all over the game, and I always hear them before I see them. And
That's awesome.
like just like it's a very distinct sound.
Yeah.
And I always know exactly where to go. Another thing that's like not necessarily like a cue, but like I thought was a really nice touch is like when you're approaching like a Mongol camp, you'll hear like Mongol like throat singing, which is fucking
so
cool. It's so
I love
cool.
that kind of stuff. Yeah, we're like, oh, going to this area now. I can kind of feel it coming. Yeah,
which makes it also just feel like a lot more lived in, right? So like you're approaching a camp and like sure these are the bad guys and they're an invading force, but they're chilling at their camp now. They're not in the middle, like they're not expecting some dude to come in and be doing some slicing and dicing. right?
Yeah.
So they're having a good time by their fire, doing their like throat singing and stuff. It's cool, you know. So like little touches like that, I think, make the game feel a lot more, you know, real and lived in.
Yeah.
So.
You know what's another good one? Pokemon Snap. I will say the music
No,
doesn't
for real.
The music is really good. The music's not 100% perfect, but the sound design, literally at any time, you know what's going on just based on the sound. You're like, holy shit, was that something over there? And it's almost like an ASMR feel. Like if you I haven't played it with my headset yet, but I bet that's incredible. I kind of need to now. Yeah, I didn't even thought about that because you can literally just like motion controls and headset. I need to do that.
Yeah.
But it's one of those where like the world is alive no matter where you are, and that's important too. Like older games couldn't accomplish that as much because you couldn't physically render all of the environment at the same time. Like you walk away and the horizon's gone. But now you can do it where like, oh, there's a Pikachu back there. He's still there, even if you're not looking at him or like you're past him, and you can hear him faintly in the distance, like enjoying an apple.
Yeah.
It's just like so good. I can't believe you haven't gotten this yet, Paul. You're in denial.
Oh, I am in denial. Deacon brings up a good point in the chat about like he said that design in horror games is way more important than a lot of other games.
100%.
And that's super true.
100% agree. Yeah.
I mean, kind of like
exactly what I said at the very beginning with Halloween. Like you can turn, you know, any other music in the world. You could probably take the music from another horror movie and put it on Halloween, and it would just be goofy.
Yeah.
Sure.
As soon as you put that iconic music in, it's just firing on all cylinders. It is going to scare the crap out of you.
Yeah, exactly. Setting is so important. Like almost like okay, so when I played Visage, which arguably it is extraordinarily terrifying, but not even like anything happens most of the time. You're just like walking and there's creaking and like the music is like terrifying and the visuals also like so dim and dark and like the slightest creak, you're like, I'm sorry, what the fuck was that? Okay, we're good. We're good. Like nothing could be happening at all, and you're pissing your pants just because you're like, this just feels real and feels terrifying. That's the other thing. Horror always goes for like realism.
Dude, that game that we talked about very briefly earlier, Phasmophobia.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Like that
one really nails that.
Yeah.
With the sound design.
God. A game that's not even like scary really, but like when the sound is like kicked in, you're like, oh, okay, I'm freaking out. What the fuck was that?
Another thing that they did that's incredible, that's like, we don't really think of this as sound design, but it certainly is like beyond just like the sound effects that the game is giving you, the game also takes your input, right?
Yeah.
And like the game will respond based on your interactions. Like you're talking to the ghost in that game.
That's
and
awesome.
like if you say its name too many times, it'll get like mad at you, things like that. So like that's a whole other aspect of sound design that a lot of games don't even touch, you know. But are like, I think that game does a really good job of making it feel real. The graphics in that game aren't good. You know, it's kind of like just a whatever game. Yeah, exactly. But like the sound design is impeccable, and using your own the sounds you're making against you.
Cool. I forgot about that.
Well, so there was a time in Call of Cthulhu where I had to fold my microphone up because I could hear my own breathing, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is killing me."
That's insane. Also, voice acting. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's sound design, but voice acting, kind of a thing. That makes or breaks it a lot for me too. Like, I'm sorry, Breath of the Wild, I have to do this to you again, but the voice acting sucks in that game. Fucking sucks. I don't care who likes it. You should not put voice acting in a Zelda game. You should hear "ha" and that's it. Like, but so many times, like a character can really be intense, and I'm like, okay, like in Doom Eternal. Awesome. Your guy doesn't talk. It's kind of like a Link situation, but everyone else is like really intense and hardened, and you feel real. The bad guys are fucking gonna kill you. Awesome. So many games pull you out of that shit. Like Breath of the Wild, for example, when I hear a cutscene, I'm like, I don't even give a shit. I don't care because of how this character sounds. Like you're actually pissing me off right now. Like,
especially if it's like a badass character and he's got a goofy ass voice, and it's like, well, that just destroyed.
I'm like, wow,
like,
my imagination was so much better than what happened here. Like, fuck.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say voice acting is another topic for another day.
I kind of agree that voice acting in video games. Yes, I'll put the Breath of the Wild bullet back in the gun for later. But I will just say for now, that's like a big risk reward scenario also, where like sound design It's safe. It's awesome. It's beautiful if it's done right. Voice acting is like, I bet like every time they develop a game, they're like, should we do that? Like, should we do this? Is it going to ruin it? Pokemon Snap, fucking home run. Amazing. Yeah, incredible.
So before we wrap it up, I thought I should mention, remember that leak I talked about earlier?
Yes. What do you got on that?
So part of that leak includes Breath 2 coming out this year. By the
way.
As much as we shit on Breath, okay, I will still die by the sword that I want to badly play Breath 2. Like, I don't even care if it's bad, but I want desperately to play.
Also, to be clear, in case you've never heard us talk about this game before, which is
rare, which we haven't been here before.
We don't dislike the game as a game. It's a very good game. It's a very well-made game. It's a very fun game. We just don't feel like it's a very good Zelda game.
Yeah.
Collectively, that's what we feel. Still very excited about Breath 2. And the fact that it might be coming out this year. Again, this is a leak. It is a rumor. We don't know. But that was part of that one that I mentioned at the beginning of the show. So we'll see if that
makes me really excited because the last time we heard the leak, which was forever ago, about Paper Mario, it literally got announced like 2 weeks later after we were like talking about the prediction. And I was like,
but we don't, again,
they hold it
I
close
don't think
to
this is, they do. And I don't think this is the same leaker that did the Paper Mario. That guy was 100% on point, right? Like that guy nailed everything that year.
Yeah.
So, but I think this is a
Donkey
different
Kong
guy.
game, though. I don't know what I'm honestly maybe more excited for a new side-scrolling Donkey Kong game. Like that is like my favorite platformers of all time are the Donkey Kongs. I am so fucking ready for another one on the Switch. Yeah, super excited about that.
Cool. Dude, you need to check out the Mega Man Zero game.
I know, I need to. Yeah, especially if it's like a big collection pack. Oh yes,
the video of 01. Yeah, it's in video games on the Pulse Discord.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. All right. Let's wrap this up, boys and girls.
I'm sleepy though.
This was a good one, man.
This was a good one. Got a lot of words to say.
Let me do this real quick. If you're watching us live on Twitch, you're on my channel right now. I stream video games on Tuesdays and Wednesday nights. We might have something special coming on one of these Tuesdays. We're talking about potentially doing the finally doing our co-op run of Mario 3D World.
On Tuesday.
I think it's gonna happen.
I think it's gonna happen. Yeah. So the 4 streamers collide, resurrect Colin for this one. Hopefully. If not, we'll just do it.
And if not, we'll get Shamali. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, there you go. We'll figure it out.
And so we might be doing that. I stream Wednesdays as well. And then Saturdays, I always stream a Samurai game. It's Samurai Saturdays. So, which I realized I never finished the endgame content of Neo 2. And I've been kind of running out of Samurai games to play. So that might make a revival on Samurai Saturdays.
Like Katana Zero again.
Yeah, that could qualify. That could qualify as a
samurai. You're a samurai.
Yeah, you.
Well, you're
a
a guy with his katana and a fucking.
Pretty much a samurai. That game's badass. I love that game. I'm not against
the thing again that you wear. Why can I not remember the word? Kimono. Yeah. Oh my god. Wow, that was bad. Anyway,
let's see if Josh can remember where you can find him.
That's hilarious.
You can find me at Lord Yeshua on Twitch and Lord Yeshua TTV on all of my socials. I actually stream again. I don't even need to bring that up. I've been doing it for like 3 or 4 weeks now. So welcome. I stream. We're going to be streaming tomorrow. 90% chance if it works. Mario Galaxy co-op online. Actually, not online. It's going to be part stackable. So still Mario Galaxy 1 co-op. Fucking excited. And then really, really hopeful that we're going to be doing the Tuesday stream of all of us playing 3D World, which is going to be really fun. But yeah, I'm super stoked about Galaxy tomorrow. It's going to be fucking sick. Woo. And then, Zach, where can we find you?
I am on YouTube at youtube.com/anotherletdowncf. That's the archive of all my streams, as well as a bunch of sketch comedy videos that we did a bunch of years ago. New one coming maybe soon. I've got it. I just need to edit it. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been on in my hard drive for a long time, but I think coming up in the next couple of weeks, I'm finally going to pull it all together.
Nice.
So that's pretty exciting. And I am going to be live on Twitch this week. Definitely for sure Thursday for the conclusion of Harley Quinn's Revenge in Arkham City, and probably starting Arkham Knight. Very excited because I haven't played that one yet. So that's the only one I haven't played. So yeah, that'll be very exciting. And then Saturday we will be painting miniatures again. Myself and Paul's brother Adam and friend of the show Broody Gambit. We paint miniatures. It's a lot of fun. It's very chill. We listen to retro video game music and analyze it and talk about it, and it's very, very fun. And then I might be live a couple other times because my wife has to work, depending on what we do with Mario, and possibly Friday exciting. For I want to do Sentinels of Freedom on stream. That's
that'll be fun.
Yeah, we did the first one, first chapter of it, and second chapter's out. And friend of the show Blink keeps telling me to stream it, and I might actually have some time this week. So
I think that'd be a great game for you to stream too.
Yeah, it's fun. I enjoy it.
Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. What really is meaningful and impactful to us is if you share it with your friends.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you do that if you can. We love you guys. Have an awesome night. Thank you once again.
Bye.
Goodbye.
See ya.